Curious Refuge has been acquired by Promise to create the studio and school of the future. We're hosting the world's first AI animation competition with over $10,000 in prizes. And of course, there's a ton of AI tools and news you need to know about. This is your AI film news of the week. I want to kick things off by giving a special thanks to the Rocket and Space Center in Huntsville, Alabama, for inviting Shelby to speak at their recent AI symposium. I also want to give a shout out to HPA for inviting Dave Clark to the recent tech retreat, and of course, the Curious Refuge AI filmmaking meetup in Shanghai. We hope you guys had an amazing time at that event. So without further ado, let's get to today's big story. And that brings us to the biggest news story that we've ever had in this series.
We're having a baby.
What?
We are very excited to share that news, but we have other very exciting news to share with you all. You may have seen today in the Hollywood Reporter that Curious Refuge has been acquired by Promise. Together, we are going to create the school and studio of the future.
This is a super exciting collaboration that we think is going to bring real-world opportunities to the Curious Refuge community.
And as you know, this partnership would not have happened without our best friend and partner, Dave Clark. He is a co-founder of Promise and also an instructor at Curious Refuge. And we're so excited to just collaborate and join forces.
We are super inspired by the vision of Dave, George, and Jamie, who are all co-founders of Promise.
And together, we're going to create even more courses, events, and opportunities for the creative community.
We're super excited for this new era in AI filmmaking, and I just want to let you know, we're not going anywhere. We're going to continue to bring awesome content, the weekly web show, the newsletter, new courses, events, competitions, and all of the fun stuff that you've come to love from Curious Refuge. This is only the next step in this community's evolution, and we can't wait to see all of the opportunities that it brings you, the members of this community.
Should we continue to the film news?
Let's do it. In light of this news, I'm also really excited to announce that we've partnered with Promise to create the world's first AI animation competition. The competition is open now, and you have until March 28th to submit your film. Basically, we want to see your best AI animated project. The first place winner will receive $7,000 in cash, the opportunity to pitch your film to potentially get it picked up for a real-world project, and most importantly, you'll get your face printed on a potato, which I just think is just fantastic. Now, we've asked an incredible lineup of judges to be a part of this event. We have Rob Minkoff, who is the co-director of The Lion King, Ryan McNeely, who is the head of animation at AGBO, Leslie Silverman, who is the head of new tech at UTA. We also have invited Dave Clark, who is the chief creative officer and founder at Promise, Albert Bozeman, who is one of the instructors of our AI animation course, and of course, Shelby and I will be checking out the submissions as well. You can learn more by clicking the link below this video. We can't wait to see what you create. In AI video news, the team at Adobe has released Adobe Video Firefly, and some of the initial tests have been interesting, with some mixed reviews if you ask around the industry. The big perk about using Adobe Firefly Video is the fact that it's IP safe, which means you can use it in a commercial project and you don't have to worry about IP that you don't own making it into that final result. And I should note that the videos that are created using Adobe Firefly are in 1080p at 24 frames per second for 5 seconds. So you don't get the extended clips that you get in other AI video generation tools, but getting 1080p is pretty cool. Now, the tool is not free. They actually have a few different subscription models. The first is $10 a month that gives you 25-second videos. And then they have a $30 Firefly Pro plan that gives you 75-second videos. So it is one of the more expensive plans on the market. But the question is, does it actually hold up? Well, let's take a look. To get started with Firefly Video, just go to the Firefly page and click on Generate a Video. You'll have to agree to a lot of terms of service here, but that's par for the course. And now we're ready to create a video. So you see on the top left here, you have the ability to change the aspect ratio. They only have widescreen and portrait at this point. 24 frames per second. They also have this camera feature that allows you to select the shot type, which I think is really cool. I wish we had more presets like that in other tools. And you also have the ability to adjust the camera angle, which again is really awesome. And they also have some motion presets. Now, these are presets. You don't have the ability to go in and really have fine-tuned control over the camera motion, but it's a good start. So for our first prompt here, we'll say slow zoom in on a street food vendor with steam rising around him. He expertly tosses food in a wok in a neon lit market with tons of purple and teal accents. All right, so neon noir, night market. Let's see what we get. So here is our shot, and you know, it's pretty good. There are some realistic elements to it. I really think the food is kind of changing in this shot. Like every time the spoon goes in, the food just completely changes. So that means he's either just like the world's most magical chef, or there's something off about the model. I also think the physics on the spoon are a little off. Now, the things that I do like about this shot, number one, it did adhere to all of the camera movement that we prompted in and then set the presets for. So I think that's pretty awesome. And then the physics of the steam and the fire look really good. If you didn't know this was AI video and you were only looking at those elements, you would probably be fooled into thinking that this was actually a realistic shot. Next up, I wanted to prompt a medium shot of a surfer in a black wetsuit paddling out through massive rolling waves off the coast of a sunny beach. And here's our result from Adobe Firefly, and this looks really good. And I think one of the reasons why this looks so good is because this shot is very similar to a lot of prompts that you might see in stock footage, because obviously Adobe's video model was trained on Adobe stock. And so because this clip is a bit more generic, I think it did a really good job. Not to mention that AI tends to do a very good job with water and waves and things like that. It also has the ability to upload an image to animate a video, but I should note that every single time we tried uploading a Midjourney image, it basically said, no, we can't animate that image, which I thought was pretty funny. But what was also really interesting is we actually took this image here of this woman's eye and we wanted to animate it inside Adobe Firefly. And it basically said no, like it refused to animate that image. So there are a ton of restrictions already inside Adobe Firefly that has made it kind of challenging for our creative team to mess around with the tool. But that being said, let's say that you wanted to generate an image using Adobe Firefly and then animate that image. Well, we have three images here. This one of a car driving down a rainy street, this one of this woman here, and this one of this knight standing on this hill. So you can see this is our first shot. It's okay. Not the best, but not the worst. I really don't think it's as good as some of the other AI video tools like Kling, but it's not a bad shot. We have this shot here of this woman with the confetti falling, and I gotta say the physics on the confetti look pretty good. A lot of those pieces do disappear, but I think when you're watching it in real time, you wouldn't really notice. So I think it did a pretty decent job. And then finally, we have the knight on the hill, and it did an okay job. What may not come through in YouTube here is the fact that the fidelity on the grass really changes. A lot of those grass pieces, they start to morph and change, and you lose a lot of the details. So while the physics look pretty good in terms of the overall camera movement, the details really are beginning to fall apart. So our quick review of Adobe Firefly Video is simply the fact that it's kind of overrated. I think the big reason why you may want to use this tool is the fact that it's completely copyright clear, so of course you don't have to worry about any sort of legal challenges if you're working on a professional project. But in terms of overall fidelity and professional quality, Adobe Firefly Video just isn't quite there in our opinion. The team at Curious actually put together a prompt guide for Adobe Firefly Video. You'll find a link to that below this video. I did, however, come across this post online of somebody uploading an image that literally had the iStock logo inside of it into Adobe Firefly Video, and it created this video here. So I don't know why the filters refuse to take Midjourney, but it will gladly take iStock photo images at this point. So it seems like there's a lot of work to do when it comes to content credentials on the Adobe front. On the complete other end of the spectrum, there's a brand new open source AI video generator that connects with Hunyan, which is basically Minimax, called Skyreels. Skyreels has produced some of the best AI video generation results that we've seen up to this point, and it's also incredibly good at taking direction. You can type in a prompt and the system will do a really good job at implementing that prompt into the final video. Now, a few things that you need to know about Skyreels. Number one, it is not commercially cleared at this point. It's really more of an experimental tool. Number two, you can generate images with the tool, but you also have the ability to, of course, generate videos that are up to 10 seconds long, and it has the ability for you to upload an image and animate from that image, which is incredibly important. And there's also a built-in script writing tool in the platform called Generate Drama. Now, we've seen some really incredible examples from around the industry. Here's Oder Faleco's, seems like some grandmas cheersing here, which looks pretty good. We have this video here of this streamer talking, and I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I was like, there's no way this was AI generated. And I'm actually still a little skeptical. I'm not entirely sure, but it does look really realistic if that is the case. And then finally, we have this adventure film here that was created using the tool. You can see that some of the shots look pretty good and dynamic. Other shots don't look quite as good. It seems like with Skyreels, there's definitely some pros and cons to using the tool. It's not like Kling that's a little more consistent in the outputs. Some shots just simply work a lot better than other shots. To use Skyreels, all you have to do is go to the Skyreels website. You'll find a link below this video and go to create. From here, it's very similar to a lot of the other AI video tools that are on the market. You can type in your prompt here. You can also upload your image. There is a section here to adjust your aspect ratio, and then you can change the duration up to 10 seconds long. Here's a shot we have here of this woman. We said she tilts her head slightly, lips parting as shadows from a nearby window plane shift across her face. And, you know, it's pretty good. Looks like a model shot, so not too bad. And in this shot, we actually asked Skyreels to have him adjust his glasses, and you can see did a really good job. And the shadow on the back wall looks really realistic. We also have this shot here that was shared by PJ Ace of this guy who is, I'm guessing, the leader of the polar bears. And I think that's a brown bear hide that he's wearing. So maybe he's like fighting the brown bears with the polar bears, which that sounds like a pretty cool movie. We have this shot here of this woman smoking, and the physics look pretty good, but I'm fairly certain that cell phone is actually on fire. It starts to light here and the smoke's coming off of it. So a lot like my old iPhone, it would get as hot as the sun. So not a great generation there. And this is one of my favorite. Basically, we prompted for a guy who farts in an elevator and then covers his face. And you can see that, yeah, he definitely is not enjoying what's happening inside of that elevator. We have this video here of this woman doing her makeup in a mirror, and looks very realistic. I think at a quick glance, you would never know that that was AI generated. And then we have this anime style video here. And again, looks pretty darn good. Now, to use image generation inside of Skyreels, all you have to do is click on the image button right here. And we'll upload this image of this war photographer here. Go ahead and click crop. And we'll just type in the prompt here. You can use language that's much more directorial inside of Skyreels. You don't have to follow a hyper-specific prompt structure compared to using other tools like Runway. And when you're ready, go ahead and click the generate button. And here's our shot here. You can see that basically we prompted for the background to have fire going, and it did a really good job. You can see the guy kind of looks like he takes the photo. The problem is, of course, it looks like there's like fire happening inside of this camera lens. So not too sure what's going on with that camera. Maybe it's like a radiation camera or something like that. But you can see that generally speaking, the overall physics did really good. And I should note that this was all the very first generation. Typically, when you're working on an AI film project, you want to generate a bunch of different shots before you find the one that actually works for your final piece. It's very common for people to do 20 to 50 generations for a single shot that makes it inside of their film. And just to reiterate, you don't actually have to use Skyreels using their online website. It's an open source tool. So if you like running open source software on your computer and you have a GPU that is up for the task, there's a GitHub link that you can visit where you can download it and use it on your machine. I think news like this is really important because it just highlights the fact that open source tools are increasingly getting better and better, which means user-facing tools that have subscriptions have more pressure to provide more value to you as an artist. We also have a big announcement from Luma. So you may have noticed a few weeks ago that they actually came out with image to video inside of their Dream Machine video tool. To use the video tool, all you have to do is go to their website. They actually have this pop-up right now where you can just go ahead and click the Try Now button. And we'll just make sure we go down to video and select Ray 2, and we are in 1080p. So now we need to upload our image. So we'll click on that image icon and we will select a wide shot of a car. It's basically like a horror film, basically. And we will select the camera to slowly push in as a man walks towards his car at night, and go ahead and click generate. So after a couple minutes, we have two different shots here. You can see it's pretty good. The physics on the guy turning around, it doesn't look quite right, but after about that first second and a half, it actually looks like a really good shot. And again, I just want to note that when you're working on AI films, sometimes you do have to pull out certain bits of the clip to get maximum quality. So I think that this is a very good generation, even with the strangeness that's happening at the very beginning of that shot. And we have this other shot here of this guy smoking, and I just want to note that you can upscale this video clip here. So all you have to do is select the clip, and then there's an upscale button right there, and you can upscale it to 4K, which is pretty great to get native 4K directly from the AI tool. You don't have to go into an AI video upreser like Topaz Video to get 4K quality, which is, of course, really awesome. So just to review a few different shots here, here's one example from our image to video. Now, looks really cool, like very cinematic. We have this other one here, and it looks good. There's something a little creepy about her face, but not too bad. And we have this shot here of this guy smoking a cigarette, and it looks pretty good, but a couple things to note. Number one, the cigarette physics look a little bit off. And number two, the letterboxing on the bottom just like completely disappeared towards the end. So not the end of the world if you just put that letterbox back, but it's kind of funny that it's like, no, this should be like full 16:9. And then we have this second shot here, and I think he like summoned the cigarette from his mouth. That, or he is a magician, which either way, that's pretty impressive. And then again, here are our final shots from the original image. You can see that this part looks really, really good, very cinematic, very realistic. And then after that initial shot there, we have the guy walking. And again, it looks pretty good. Like there's really dynamic lighting on his face. The physics look nice. The camera movement's very cool. So again, Luma has really knocked it out of the park with Ray 2. There's a really big story from Alibaba and Apple this last week where they basically have partnered up to provide AI answers in Chinese. So Alibaba is a Chinese company, and they specifically have a language model that was designed for Chinese characters, unlike ChatGPT, which is natively in English. The announcement actually led to both company stock prices rising immediately, and I'm sure that we're going to continue to see large-scale corporate partnerships in AI like this in the coming months. And speaking of Alibaba, in white paper news, they actually came out with Animate Anyone 2, which is a research paper outlining a new feature that could be hitting some of our AI tools very soon. Basically, all you have to do is upload a reference video and a picture of the character you want to replace, and it will replace them inside of the video. Now, that's not new. We've had this functionality up to this point, but the big difference here is the fidelity and quality of the generation looks really nice. So we have the shot here of Mr. Bean, and we replaced him with this other guy, and yeah, looks pretty good. We have this skateboarder guy, and we want to replace him very easily. There's a lot of dynamic movement here, and you can see it did a good job. Not only did it composite him into the scene well, but it also has a lot of great physical dynamics in the hands and the arms, and it understands when objects go behind other objects, which is really challenging for AI systems. So a really good job there. And there's a few different examples with the Joker that look just fantastic. So we have them like twirling a flag here. Looks pretty good. We have the Joker playing guitar here. Not too shabby. And then finally, we have the Joker replacing Ryan Gosling in La La Land. I know after Joker 2's lack of success, it probably seems unlikely that Joker 3 would actually be a musical as well, but hey, you never know. The team at Rendernet actually came out with the ability to replace clothing from images very easily. So this is obviously fantastic if you work in an advertising context, and I can imagine that we probably will get user-facing tools like this to allow us to try on different pieces of clothing in the very near future. To use the tool, all you have to do is go to the Rendernet website and go ahead and do clothes swap. And now we need to upload an image of our clothing. So I have this image here of this sweater that I found, and I kid you not, this sweater cost $12,650. So needless to say, I will not be trying on that sweater anytime soon, but I'm so curious, what would I look like inside of that sweater? So I'll go ahead and select the sweater, and for our target image, we're going to select our subject. Just drag and drop the image. I have this picture of me wearing a different sweater, and it will ask you to define what clothing you're looking to change. We'll say tops and go ahead and click swap clothes. So after just a few minutes, you see we have me wearing the sweater, and it did a pretty good job. It's not perfect. Namely, I think that the sleeves combined together, unless I'm missing something with that sweater, I don't think the sleeves form a solid loop. That sounds very cozy. I don't think that'd be very practical. And it also seems like it softened up my face just a little bit. So not too sure what's going on there, but honestly, it did not do a bad job. And you probably saw the news this last week. We actually officially announced our advanced AI filmmaking course at Curious Refuge. We've partnered with Cav and the Kid to show you how to create a professional AI film that makes noise in the industry. This course is unique because we're going to get into advanced storytelling and directing techniques that you should know when you're working on a larger AI filmmaking project. We're also designating specific lessons for helping you land real-world jobs. This course is perfect if you've wanted to have a career in AI filmmaking. The waitlist is now open, and I should note that enrollment for all of our courses open on February 26th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you've been interested in learning AI filmmaking, AI animation, documentary, advertising, or advanced AI filmmaking, I do want to note that advanced AI filmmaking will actually start in April, but this is your shot to claim your spot and get early bird pricing. The team at Pika Labs came out with a new feature called Pikadditions, which is just delightful. Basically, you can upload a video and then an image of something you want to appear inside of that video, and it will combine them together. Pika never fails to create the most meme-worthy content. We have a few funny examples here. For example, this person took Police Academy and put in just a bunch of like classic characters. Just pretty funny. John Finger, who you should totally follow on X, put together an experiment where he basically added in just different characters to this video of him in his backyard. We have this little like weird alien character here. And you can see it actually does a pretty good job. It's not perfect, but it's definitely in the video, which is crazy just from uploading a single image. Like that shot right there was a high five, which is pretty cool. So to use Pikadditions, all you have to do is go to the Pika website, and you can go ahead and click on the Pikadditions button. So to use Pikadditions, all you have to do is upload your video. So we have this video footage from a farm here, pretty basic. And then we'll go to upload our image, and we have this image of a hovercraft, and we'll bring that into Pika, and then go ahead and click generate. So we have a few different generations here. Here's the hovercraft at the farm, and yeah, it did a pretty good job. I don't think the compositing's great. It actually kind of changed that background video, but it did a pretty good job, and it's pretty fun. We also took this video footage of an emu here and combined it with this video of a unicorn, and it generated this video here where it put the unicorn head on the emu, which is kind of awesome and terrifying at the same time. And then we also have this video footage here of the emu standing right next to the unicorn, and yeah, not too bad. Like obviously the compositing is very rough. This tool is only going to get better, but I think it really does highlight how compositing in the future will be very easy. We also added in a dancing robot into the emu video. So there you go, dancing robot, pretty good. The emu's head does completely dissolve there. So that's it's a little disturbing. And then finally, we have this video clip here of the robot petting the emu. And I don't know, just kind of gets a little jumbled there. So not the best result, but still pretty cool. The team at TCL has finally dropped their AI short film, Next Stop Paris. It's basically a love story about two characters that fall in love on the way to Paris. And I think that this project really highlights the future of production that will utilize hybrid workflows. AI filmmaking is not about getting rid of traditional filmmaking techniques. It's about taking those techniques and adding even more tools to your arsenal to create something incredible. We also saw some news this last week that said VO2 is now available, and we went to check it out, and it turns out VO2 is only available inside of YouTube Shorts, so you don't have the ability to use the version of VO that everybody's been getting excited about over the last few weeks. Basically, this tool allows you to generate video clips and backgrounds for your shorts inside of the YouTube app. It does seem like the generations from this version of VO2 are slightly faster than the beta version of Google VO. So this might be a scaled back version of the overall tool, maybe similar to what Sora did when it released just a few months ago. But generally speaking, it's cool to see that Google is slowly releasing the tool. Now, to use VO2 inside of YouTube, just log into YouTube, click the plus button, go to your camera roll and click Create at the top. You'll then be prompted to enter a text prompt. You then check out the 4 different image options that are available, pick your favorite, and then go ahead and click Create Video. So finally, we have this shot here of a cat in a sombrero just chilling on the fence here. Looks like he's having a great time. And that brings us to our AI films of the week. The first film that I want to shout out is called The Palace by Seif Abdalla. Seif is a fantastic AI video creator. This is not the first time that we've seen incredible work from them. And it just features really dynamic visuals, some great storytelling, and specifically sound design. Sound design is so essential when you're working on a film project, and I think this is a great example of an AI film. We also have a concept trailer for an Epic of Gilgamesh film by Isaac Rodriguez. This is awesome because it takes one of the oldest stories in human history and converts it into a live action film. Now, not all the shots go together well inside of the trailer, but I think the shots that do work are really, really impressive. And the final film that I want to shout out is called Try Again Later by Paul Trillo. Paul is an incredibly talented artist, and we have this just kind of like melancholic, it's not a music video, but just kind of like tone film. There's a horse on fire, there's a monkey smoking a cigarette, and it's just kind of like sad throughout the whole thing, but like in a really inspiring kind of way. So great job on this project, Paul. And I want to let you know that Curious Refuge is hosting an AI filmmaking meetup in West Palm Beach on March 6th. So if you're in the area, be sure to check it out. Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode of AI Film News and being an incredible member of this community. Again, we are going to continue to give you even more training, courses, tutorials, events, and all of the awesome stuff that you've come to love here at Curious Refuge. And this new partnership with Promise is only going to help us create more opportunities for you and even better films in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Again, like and subscribe if you want to get more tutorials and training here on the platform. And of course, you can check out our website over at curiousrefuge.com if you want to enroll in an upcoming course. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.